But once again, you cannot fast pass it. There is no fast forward. It's like, yo, it takes time. And everybody develops differently. I know people going to bring up Stroud. Okay, cool. He's going on his little run right now. When it's 18 games under his belt, when it's 23 games under his belt, then let's talk about it. Brock Purdy, in his 7 games, he had a little run, right? Now, that sample size and expanded. He played well yesterday. I will salute him on that. But it's like even you saw with him dealing with some stuff. That's this game, man. That's this game. Everybody has the ability to do it. But it's like, yo, how consistently can you do it at that level? And that's what's, we're trying to see even with Kenny. It's like, all right, we've seen you be able to do a certain thing. Now we're seeing you could do this thing. And now we want to know, can you get to this level? But it takes time. So, but like I said, we're winning all in the process of figuring that part out.
Yeah, I'm in a very good mood today, particularly about the offense, too. Like, all right, we had a little bit of a struggle or a lapse there in second half, third quarter, I guess.
No.
Happens. But the fact that we came out the gates, first 3 series,
Think about
2 touchdowns and a field goal, 17 points. And then ultimately, because this is what I've been talking about, as long as we keep it close, as long as we're keeping it close. I know we had a little bit of an offensive lapse third quarter. I still was like, going into the fourth quarter, it's close. I think we're going to deliver. I think the offense is going to step up. I think the defense is going to step up. And they both did to certain degrees. Again, that pass interference call, that was a bummer. But, yeah, I thought the offense was going to close it out and do the whole QB kneel type of thing right there.
Well, my thing, too, is this, right? People used to complain about Kenny being fourth quarter Kenny, right? It's like, yo, why can't we get any scores in the first quarter? Why can't we get any drives? It's like we got.
Yeah, but they're going to – that's the problem. It's because he didn't throw the touchdowns. I don't care about that. I don't. Because that's what people are using. They're saying we got 200 yards on the ground, and that makes Kenny bad. That's literally Steeler fans' math this morning right now.
How is that a correlation?
It's not. Like, if you're running the ball good, you keep running the ball. It's pretty much that simple.
And it's like, like I said, part of the stuff I get what they're trying to say in the sense of you can't have it both ways and saying that Kenny does what we ask him to do to win games, but at the same time say he's this elite tier quarterback where it's like, yo, you just drop him off and he's doing anything. But at the same time, it's like, yo, he's still playing well. He's not turning the ball over. Did he throw a touchdown? No. But did he throw a pick? No. Does that matter at the National Football League? You keep at how do you? The Steelers been outgained in all these games, right? Oh, what's another game? How they get out of the stadium? Look at the turnover ratio. It's not hard. Who at the quarterback position made the turnover? Who didn't make the turnover? It ain't hard. And honestly, that's what it's coming down to. But that's our team. Now, the difference also is this. With this model, though, with Kenny, you can win. We're seeing that in the interim and in the big term. It's just your margin for error is small. So you got to decide, can you stomach it? As long as you can stomach this type of game, this type of football, Kenny is fine. But if you want something that's going to make you feel more peaceful or you feel, more confident going into it, then yeah, you're going to want potentially something that has been more proven or has been at least playing at a higher level with consistency. But to act as if Kenny isn't capable of winning games, I think is like going overboard because we are seeing him win games this year and even dating back to a year ago. And even when you throw every game that he's played in, it's like, yo, Kenny wins. So that's the thing that we got to decide, at least right now.
Yeah, and I don't think people are understanding game flow either. Like I think it's a different story of what we're trying to do on offense, particularly in the second half. If they counted that fumble and the Packers take that fumble in, and maybe we get down like 10 points or whatnot.
Right, because now you got to be a little more aggressive.
Now we do maybe start chucking it out a little bit more and come back that way. It's just we haven't had to over these last few weeks. Now, Jaguars game was different, but Kenny gets hurt and Mitch has to come in.
So
but
that
still,
changed the dynamic of it.
Yeah, it changed the dynamic. Yeah. But ultimately, that was still the same formula that we're going for. We were trying to keep it close. Going into halftime should have been 9-6, but, the whole field goal call. But still, even 9-3, that's a close game. This one, 17-13 going into half. Neither offense really did much in the third quarter or the second half. So it's like, it's probably more valuable to not be taking these crazy chances because that's what I think the coaches are asking Kenny to do.
Yeah, but think about how many times we've come in here and we're like, yo, it's almost like teams get themselves into trouble playing against us because they do try to be aggressive. And that's when we highlighted Jacksonville. We're like, yo, they actually did like the reverse of it, so to speak, where they would kind of get conservative on the fringe, just like, yo, we're going to just figure out ways to take the points. We're not going to do anything to expose ourselves to any negativity. A lot of teams haven't done that though. And when you look at our record, that's why it reflects that. But that's the league. A lot of teams in this league are just stupid aggressive for the sake of fans want it. It's analytics. Go for it, go for it, go for it. We're like, bro, all right, you keep going for it. You keep throwing that ball. We're going to keep taking it away. And we're going to keep figuring out how to win games.
That's my thing. You guys could take the yards. We'll take the wins.
But
that's what everyone's talking about. We're getting outgained and all these. Whatever. You can take the yards. And a lot of those yards for the Packers, I mean, how many of them? Like Jordan Love had 60, 70 yards just on that last drive.
But look, my thing is this. It wasn't garbage time because we know he was trying to win.
Right.
But 289, you threw 2 picks. And were the 2 picks the difference in the game? Yes or no? They were. So when we're talking about our style of brand, our style of football versus what we're needing from Kenny, he's doing what we're needing him to do. But once again, I just think when the conversation is Kenny, if it just stayed there, I think that's one thing. But people still put him there. It is like, all right, well, if we're going to compare him in this vein, it can't be we talking team stats because the team stat is win. We TJ Watt just as much part of that win as Kenny is. But when we're talking about these type of dudes, we're like, yo, I would definitely say he is better than him. The difference is these dudes we've seen stand alone be the guy. We've seen them reach the 350s, the 400s, the multiple touchdowns and win, or have to come back and do something ridiculous, multiple scores and win. Whereas with Kenny, it's like, yo, he wins games, but he hasn't had this crazy God tier performance where he's like elevated and we're like, yo, that's a bad dude. It's like we've seen a drive. We might see 2 drives. And I think that's also part of just the convo of how you view Kenny. But if you view Kenny as, yo, Kenny's just playing well, then it's like, yo, Kenny is fine. But if you're saying that Kenny's supposed to be these dudes, that's the part where you're going to keep having them people like, yo, ain't no way, Deke, you tripping. Because they haven't seen him show that type of stuff just yet.
And that's fine. I'll just keep taking the wins.
Ain't nothing wrong with it.
That's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm with you.
Yeah, if you want to knock Kenny for that, whatever.
As long as you win, just win.
Yeah, exactly. I think Kenny's being asked to do different things than a lot of these quarterbacks too.
Yes, but then you brought up Dobbs. People are going to bring that up and say, well, what's the difference of what Josh Dobbs did? We haven't got even that type of feeling. It's like, all right, cool.
Again, feeling. I mean, I'll take the wins.
Yeah,
I'll take the wins. Like,
it's about that. It's like, what are you looking for?
That's feeling.
Yeah, what are you looking for?
Cool. He's put up stats and whatnot, and all good for him. I'm not trying to knock the other quarterbacks, but I just think with what we're asking Kenny to do, how we're trying to win games, like we got this formula, we got this thing going, and
it works perfect for what we're trying to do. But we're also playing unorthodox compared to everybody else. And I think that's
we'll
also part of it.
You know, if we do get that, we got some tests coming up. You know, we got the Browns, we got the Bengals.
Right.
We'll have the Ravens again. Well, we actually got the Bengals twice. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see how these games play out.
And if these models keep working the way that we're saying they're working, it's like, yo, you can have all them stats over there because we're going to keep having the dubs. And that's what matters at the end of the day. But I think that's the big thing of why people are still viewing or having these hard stances with Kenny, because it's like, all right, is he elite? If he's elite, then the numbers need to look like this. If he's just good, okay, cool. Well, now we want an elite quarterback. And it's like, all right, you can want the elite guy, but until you get that, we're still winning. So what is the purpose of playing the game? To just have an elite player or to win the games? I'm trying to win the games.
Michael Williams, all 22 shows our receivers being strapped downfield.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that is 100% true. Because I'm up in the nosebleed. Some of the plays, I'm just looking like, no one's open. No one's open on this one.
To an extent, that happens.
What do you want my man to do? Mm-hmm. And yeah, could the play calls be better? I don't know. That's a whole nother story. But what we see on TV doesn't tell Kenny's full story. He's not perfect, but he's not forcing bad throws. Why is Kenny getting all this hate?
Because y'all pick and choose how y'all want to talk about Kenny. You can't talk about Kenny as an elite quarterback, and then when he's held to an elite standard, you downplay it and start talking about all these other variables. I think that's the big reason why people can't come to the same, agreement with Kenny. Because people pick and choose how they want to talk about Kenny. Every game lead up to it, or even in the all series, like, yo, he's elite, he's elite, is this. Not you, not just you, like a lot of people. Like, he has his section of fans. It was like, all right, we get it. But now it's like the sample size continues to grow, and you're like, well, everything that y'all keep selling us, it doesn't come to fruition. And then when we bring it up, y'all pivot to something totally different out of left field. We be like, yo, how you get to this part of the convo when we was talking about this? I think that's the situation in terms of why he gets the hate that he gets, man. But he's still playing good. That's the thing. But good is simply just good. Good doesn't mean really good. Good doesn't mean great. Good doesn't mean elite. It's just he's playing good.